Every year, millions of people visit the breathtaking national parks that stretch across North America. From the towering peaks of the Rockies to the ancient forests of the Pacific Northwest, these natural havens offer peace, adventure, and a chance to reconnect with nature. However, not all visits end in happy memories. A troubling number of individuals vanish without a trace within these wild landscapes. Some are located quickly, others after days or weeks, and a few disturbingly are never found at all. These disappearances, often cloaked in bizarre and inexplicable circumstances, have sparked the curiosity and concern of countless people. The term missing 411 has become a catch-all phrase for such cases, thanks in large part to the efforts of retired police detective David Paulides, who brought widespread attention to these occurrences through his investigative work and book series of the same name. Let's take a closer look at this haunting phenomenon. The origins of the missing 411 mystery. David Paulides, a former law enforcement officer with nearly 2 decades of experience at the San Jose Police Department, first encountered this unsettling pattern while researching unrelated material in national parks. He began to notice strange consistencies across numerous missing person cases. These weren't your everyday disappearances, they involved baffling elements that left even seasoned investigators scratching their heads. Driven by curiosity and a sense of duty, Paulides began compiling data and uncovering links that the public and even officials had largely overlooked. This marked the birth of the Missing 411 Project, a series of books and documentaries that delved deep into over 1,000 unsolved disappearances across the US and Canada. The common threads. At first glance, a person vanishing in a massive forest or mountainous region may seem plausible after all. Nature is unpredictable. However, the missing 411 cases defy normal expectations. Many victims disappear suddenly, even while in the presence of others. In some incidents, a child is seen walking just a few feet ahead, only to vanish in the blink of an eye. No footprints, no signs of struggle, just gone. Another eerie pattern involves the discovery or lack thereof of personal belongings. In multiple cases, clothes are found neatly folded, miles away from where the person was last seen. Sometimes these garments are removed in cold weather, which led many to suspect foul play. However, experts point to a medical condition called paradoxical undressing, a symptom of severe hypothermia, where victims feel hot and start shedding clothes. Search and rescue dogs, typically a reliable tool in locating missing persons, often fail to pick up a scent in these instances. This failure adds another layer of confusion, especially when the terrain isn't overly hostile or weathered. Why are these trained dogs unable to trace the missing individuals? The strange case of Kevin O'Keefe. One of the most baffling cases included in the Missing series is that of Kevin O'Keefe, a 36-year-old outdoorsman from Sacramento, California. In 1985, Kevin decided to fulfill a long-held dream of exploring the Alaskan wilderness alone. He meticulously prepared for a 3-week solo camping expedition in Glacier Bay National Park. Kevin arrived, checked in with park rangers, and set up camp near Wolf Point. All seemed well until 2 days before his planned departure. Rangers conducting a routine patrol noticed something unusual. Kevin's tent was pitched in an incorrect spot, and the support rod had snapped. His gear was outside the tent, seemingly undisturbed. But Kevin was nowhere to be seen. Search teams were dispatched. His boots, gloves, and hat were later found half a mile from the campsite, yet there were no signs of struggle or animal involvement. His food supplies remained untouched. Even more bizarre was the observation that wild animals appeared to be avoiding the area entirely. To this day, Kevin O'Keefe's disappearance remains unsolved. The numbers behind the mystery. Skeptics often argue that the number of missing persons isn't as alarming when viewed in context. For example, the National Park Service reported approximately 331 million recreational visits in 2017 alone. Even if 1,600 people have gone missing over several decades, that's a relatively minuscule percentage. The National Missing and Unidentified Persons System currently lists over 14,000 active missing person cases nationwide, not just in national parks. Around 4,800 of these cases have been resolved. So yes, statistically speaking, the likelihood of vanishing into the wilderness is extremely low. But that doesn't make the unresolved cases often involving experienced hikers, children under direct supervision, or seemingly random disappearances any less disturbing. Is there a deeper connection? Paulides created a map showing clusters of disappearances, suggesting that specific geographic locations may be hotspots for these strange events. Whether these clusters are coincidence, due to higher foot traffic, or something more sinister, remains up for debate. The missing 411 theory has attracted a wide array of speculative explanations. Some believe serial killers may be involved, while others lean into more fantastical possibilities ranging from alien abductions and interdimensional portals to cryptids like Bigfoot. However, most experts caution against jumping to paranormal conclusions. Many of these disappearances likely result from natural hazards, human error, or medical conditions that become deadly in isolation. Criticisms and skepticism. Although Paulides is praised for bringing attention to a neglected issue, his work hasn't been without criticism. During a skeptical analysis, data researcher Kyle Polich cross-checked several of the cases from the missing 411 books. He found that while many of the reported facts were correct, some important details were omitted, like suspected drug use, harsh environmental conditions, or the existence of suspects. Critics argue that selectively presenting information can distort public perception, especially when it fuels conspiracy theories. Nonetheless, the fact remains that many disappearances do happen under strange, sometimes unexplainable circumstances. The role of search dogs, hypothermia, and human behavior. The perceived ineffectiveness of search dogs in some cases can often be attributed to environmental factors. High temperatures, difficult terrain, and water can all hinder a dog's tracking ability. Despite their reputation, dogs are not infallible. As mentioned earlier, the removal of clothing in freezing weather is frequently cited as evidence of foul play or supernatural influence. Yet paradoxical undressing is a well-documented response to late-stage hypothermia, a tragic physiological response that often precedes death. It's also worth remembering how vast and unforgiving the wilderness can be. A minor misstep can lead someone off a trail and into an area impossible to search thoroughly. Add in lack of phone service, rough terrain, and potential injuries, and a simple hike can quickly turn fatal. Children and instant disappearances. One of the most chilling aspects of the missing 411 accounts involves children who vanish in mere seconds. Parents often claim to have turned away only briefly before their child was gone. In such cases, some children are found hours or days later in locations they could not realistically have reached on their own, often at higher elevations or miles away, through treacherous terrain. Although some attribute these odd details to paranormal activity, child psychology and behavior must also be considered. In distress or panic, children may wander or climb in seemingly irrational ways, making search efforts even more complicated. Who's keeping track? Perhaps the most concerning revelation is the lack of a centralized, comprehensive database of missing persons specific to national parks. When Paulides submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the National Park Service, he was shocked to learn they had no such records readily available. Some park representatives reportedly advised inquirers to contact local sheriffs for missing person data. This decentralized system raises questions about accountability and transparency, especially when lives are at stake. To be fair, the National Park Service does maintain a small section on its website dedicated to cold cases. Visitors are encouraged to provide tips via phone or online, but overall, there's a noticeable gap in record-keeping that complicates any serious effort to track these incidents over time. Thanks for watching. If you found this video as gripping as a midnight campfire tale, don't forget to smash that like button. Got your own theories about the missing 411? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you love unraveling mysteries, deep dives into true stories, or just want to keep your curiosity well-fed, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next video.